From the great halls of their house, there are assembled three who hope to one day be the world's greatest driving heroes. Created from the cosmic legends of the universe comes our team captain, the Vision, Bill Fisher. Their soon-to-be Wonder Woman, Vicky Fisher. Our Captain Marvel and head flight trainee, Jennifer Skripchuk. And our Batman, the master of tools, gadgets, and all things mechanical, our mild-mannered soon-to-be billionaire, Alan Danvers. Their mission, to fight injustice, share what is right and wrong, to get you out of your house and come out racing with them, and serve all mankind. They are the Garage Heroes in Training Team.
Welcome to the Garage Heroes in Training Podcast. I'm going to be one of the hosts for this episode. My name is Bill. Who else is hosting?
I'm Vicky.
Oh, God, there's lots of you. Keep going.
Yeah, there's lots of people.
Anybody?
Well, I don't know if they're hosting. We are interviewing them.
They're all part of the team. It's happy. It's one big happy.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do it. Audra's here.
Hello.
Hello. Alan's here. Didn't do alphabetical. My bad.
Hey there.
All right. We have Bill, but not this Bill.
Hello.
Hello. We've got Max.
Hi.
We're going with Mad Max for today because, you seem cranky. And honorary crew member, not quite talked into driving yet. We have Larry.
Hello.
Well, Larry, sorry for the text messages to the wrong person, but I'm sure you were entertained by Vicky's update on the BMW. So,
Clearly the high point of my day. I hope it happens again soon.
Well, if she doesn't put her glasses on, it probably will.
I didn't have my glasses on at the time. So we have the team Slippery Slope, which has now become our sister team. And of course, Alan drove for Garage Heroes in Training at this past weekend's trip to Thompson for the Lemons. Yeah. So we're going to be discussing post-race.
Oh, yeah.
And post-race episodes are always quite fun. So let's go over it quick. We already went over what track. How was the weather, everybody?
It was great.
Awesome.
Great. It was supposed to rain and it didn't.
It looked like
That's
it was
a bonus.
It looked like it was the first Thompson race that wasn't 3,000 degrees.
It wasn't.
Yeah, there was a half a thread of rain, but it really didn't pan out. Just like 80 degrees. Nothing too hot, little overcast.
It was perfect.
Glorious weather for Thompson.
Thompson is always the most brutal of weather of tracks that we actually we have on the Northeast version of Lemons. It's
We
the
like to bring
worst.
heat in Connecticut. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a little-
It's sweat dripping in areas you don't want sweat dripping.
You were totally prepared for that. I was a little surprised
Right?
by how cold it got at night.
Yeah.
A little cold at night. Maybe could have used an extra sleeping bag, but
Really?
not unhappy with the daytime temperatures. It was
Wow.
amazing.
That is so not Thompson. Okay. All right, cool. Well, we missed a good Thompson weather weekend, my dear. We're doing something wrong here. All right, very well.
Yeah, we
Let's-
we didn't show up, so they had lovely weather.
I know.
That's how it works.
That's okay. All right, let's talk to the car preppers. That's going to be Alex and Alex and
Alan.
Man, or Max and Alan, if you can speak. But I've been
Yeah.
speaking all
Either way.
weekend. So Max, how did car prepping go?
Good. Between Jersey and Thompson, didn't really do too much. Just some basic type stuff like replace the front wheel bearings and bedded in a bunch of rotors and pads to get ready that we didn't need, which was great.
That's good.
And
Because you had problems with the brakes at New Jersey, right?
yeah, it seemed like we warped a couple sets of rotors, and that may or may not have been from like that left front wheel bearing that had developed play in it.
Mhm.
So that vibration could have been, most of or some of that.
Okay.
And then we also, there wasn't a whole lot. We moved where the radio sits in the car.
You guys have a radio in the car? Do you do CDs or cassettes?
Yeah, no, we have CDs and an auxiliary input for, when you want to listen to some tunes.
No, this must be what you do when you're living in that lap of luxury in a 5 Series,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, let's remind our audience, what car did you bring for slippery slope?
It was a 1991 BMW 535.
Okay. And this is
Indeed.
its second race.
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. All right.
And go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to make sure that Audra approved of your preparation. Was preparation up to your standards, Audra? I mean, Max needs a report card here.
Yeah, we did all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
It's
car
fine.
ran. We had, seriously, the car ran perfectly. We had no problems at all. I think the only thing that happened was we messed up the radio on Sunday so we could transmit to the driver, but the driver could not transmit back. So
Oh, I thought you said you messed it up just so you could practice to be like the rest of us. I'm sorry.
I really just wanted everybody to leave me alone while I was driving. So
Stop.
I stopped the radio.
You did turn off the radio eventually. Then we couldn't talk to you at all.
Well, I was that was inadvertent.
Sometimes it goes off by accident. It's it's racing. It's a racing incident. You can't really.
Yeah.
So what do you think happened with the radio?
I think we crimped a wire, broke a wire when we were replacing the battery Saturday night.
Okay.
That'll do it.
As we wire tied it in, and I think we must have done it too tight, too much, something. I don't know. We need to test it, see if we really messed it up, get a new one.
That's
It was
one of
perfect
those.
before that. We had no problems.
That's one of those rules. Morer is not always betterer.
Yeah. Well, what's the other thing? You're always supposed to have a backup for everything that you have. We didn't have a backup.
Yeah.
It helped out the radio, but that didn't do it. I think it's the wires. I think we crimped something when we were like jamming everything in there Saturday night.
Well, you're not a real Lemons team until you've had radio issues.
Heard that's a thing.
It is.
After a while, you just ignore the radio altogether because it's just too much problem. No, we're trying to get there.
We did some hand signals. It was good.
Yeah.
It was fine. Yep.
Okay. Well, I mean, the job
Nothing
accomplished.
inappropriate. Just for record. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said hand signals. I'm like, they've got to be inappropriate. I mean, one lap to go, sort of, things.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Let's get to it. Alan, how was car prep?
Car prep went pretty well for what we know of. She's
well, hold on.
Yeah.
What did you show up with?
We showed up with a 1984 MooStang, 2.3 liter turbo, slightly intercooled or maybe not. We're not really sure. At the last race in New Hampshire, it's always a rough race in New Hampshire for us. We had some fuel leaking. We all know about fuel leaks. They're terrible. So we sealed up the fuel tank itself, which is where the leaks were really well. We got all new parts. Surprise, surprise. Thank you, Rock Auto. And that didn't leak. But then, that was the prep part. But the rest of the car was in good shape.
Story to be continued. Is that what we're saying?
Story to be slightly continued. Yeah. And I went out of my way. I took a really nice monster radiator hat. I took to the radiator shop. I was like, hey, can you guys just test this? I saw little marks around the outside. I wasn't sure if it was working all right, like whatever. And sure enough, they're like, oh, we spent an hour. It's totally blocked. I'm like, oh, great. So it wasn't doing anything. Good thing I checked it so that I know that I should just keep the other radiator I have. And I know we got some tires mounted, set up. And the car was ready to go in theory. It's a relative thing.
Oh, it went. Yes, it did. Bill, I forgot to see if the preparation by Mr. Max was up to your standards, sir.
Oh, yeah, it always is.
Always. Oh, listen to Max setting a bar here. So, Larry, you didn't feel too bad about working on the piece of junk that Max gave you, as crew member?
I saw no junk.
No junk? You weren't looking very deeply. This was Lemon's race, man.
No, he did a phenomenal job. Was ahead of the curve on anything, on everything. Even cleaned the windshield, so everything was good to go.
All right, very well. So it was just Bill, Audra, and Max driving this week?
Yes.
Ah, look at that. All right, very well. And Alan, your dedicated subjects were?
Yes. So I had myself driving, my son Bennett. We had two guest drivers, and they had not experienced the pleasure that is the MooStang.
Yeah.
We had Yuri showing up, the mad Russian scientist. And
soon to
we
be
had our-
podcast guest. He just doesn't realize which podcast because he keeps asking 3-pedal.
Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. The details are tough to see. It's a language thing.
Okay, that's fine. And one
So
more.
just 4 drivers. Yep. And then we had Quinn. My other son was there as crew to help out.
Did you say Aaron? You said Aaron?
Aaron Diamond. Yeah, Aaron
Okay.
Diamond was there. And my son Quinn was there as crew. So we had 4 drivers and 1 crew. And I'm just trying to follow down that slippery slope, see what I can do to be a good race car team and stuff. You know.
I mean, what is this? They have crew. What is this?
I don't know. I never heard of that.
Well, fancy schmancy stuff. That's all right. That's fine. That's what happens when you're going down the slippery slope. Whatever.
Yep. Spare parts, spare people, like whatever. I don't know.
Okay. I mean, whatevs. It's good. Okay, let's do theming. Who wants to do theming for the slippery slopers? Don't all jump at once now.
So we have a ski theme.
Oh, okay.
Basically because the car that we bought had a terrible roll cage that had to be extended through the roof. It wasn't in code. So it looked like a ski rack. So we wound up with skis and a snowboard as a wing. So our theme is a ski theme with some great graphics on the side that Bill's brother made for us. It's snowflakes with dollar signs in the middle because slippery slope. Yeah.
So good.
It is. It's quite nice.
Did you guys all end up all dressed up in your ski stuff again?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Straight out of the theme. 80s. Someone asked me if I was the original owner. I was like, no, I got off.
Shut up. Just tell them to shut up. Shut your mouth.
Right.
The last time someone asked if we drove all the way from Alaska.
Really?
Because we had an Alaskan plate on it.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, they just had a rally in Alaska. That's probably why.
I wouldn't send
Alan,
that one off the cliff.
Alan, did you go in theme?
All right. So here's how it goes. When you have supercar like the MooStang, you try not to go in theme. But then the judges call you out and they're like, hey, you really should be in costume. And I was like, well, I was wearing the Garage Heroes shirt. And I thought that would be enough, but it clearly wasn't. So she said, all right, we'll put you in B0. Or if you come back and stop being such jerks and lazy, then we'll put you in C2. So I was like, okay. So then we bolted off real quick, like to find the other cow teams. We borrowed their cow onesies, and we snuck back in. And I said, C0, right? And she said, yeah, sure. And she gave me C0, and out the door I went, like the good cow that I am.
So you stole somebody else's costumes?
No. There's no stealing involved. This is fully consensual. I said, hey, would you mind letting me your slightly soiled Amazon basic generic cow onesie? And he said, sure, no problem. And I was like, thank you. So, because the cow teams have to stick together.
Alan!
Slippery slope out there. You gotta watch out. I'm just saying.
So where did the wig come from?
Where did the what?
The wig?
Oh, that wasn't part of the costume. We weren't really going to talk about the wig. That was a thing that happened over the weekend. I had to do some stuff. I didn't know I was in the trailer, and then I didn't wear the wig outside of the trailer after that.
Yeah, that's where we found the wig later.
Well, yeah, I don't know anything about a wig except it's mine, but I don't know about it or anything, or how I got it, or why I got it, or nothing.
Okay, here's the part of the podcast where we hope there's no stories. How was the trip to the track? Everybody get there, no issues, hopefully.
45 minutes, piece of cake.
Yeah, you guys are lucky. You guys are all up in that area.
That sucks. I mean, congratulations.
There's nothing like being practically home, right?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So
my event was more of let's just see what sort of tomfoolery we can check Alan with. So I had a tow set up. We consulted, we ordered up a trailer hitch to mount on said vehicle. We went to the said vehicle and the mounting points were just rusted and gone. So my tow fell through like late Monday, early Tuesday morning of race weekend. So I did a little scrambling, a little dancing, And I lucked out and found someone to tow my car out there Thursday afternoon, and actually got there like an hour before I did because I wasn't quite ready.
Wait. You
I know, it's
weren't on
surprising.
time?
I wasn't 100% because I was a little, yeah.
Shocking.
So yeah, other than that, the tow went super smooth. The car got there before I did. It was already in position, ready and waiting for me. I just had to show up and just, dance around,
For those playing the home game, that's the first tow of the weekend for that car. Did you guys do practice? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Vic.
Oh, it's okay. How many cars were at the track?
90,
92, 93.
I believe, yeah, Race Monitor said
88.
92.
Originally they said 88, but I think 92 was on Race Monitor, so it could be somewhere in there. Numbers are hard, so I don't really.
Numbers are hard.
Well, there were 4 with no laps.
Yes.
Okay.
But there was 92 that went through tech.
Right.
Okay.
Something, I don't know.
Did you guys do practice on Friday? Anybody?
Yes.
Yep.
How'd that go?
Good.
Wow, it's the most illustrated podcast episode we've ever had.
I'm trying to remember Friday. I don't
It's all
even remember
blurred.
Friday. I know we did practice. I know we got in the car.
We
I know it
dropped
was
so many
fun,
laps
but I don't
down, Bill.
remember it.
It's tough to keep track of all of it.
Oh, that's
you know what
true.
I'm saying?
There's
It's like
so
gallon
many.
of
So many.
gas, lap
Okay.
after lap, and that boring being they didn't even know what time it is, what day, anything. The Thompson laps practice setup was a bit nicer than most tracks. They did take away the right seat, so we weren't allowed to have any right seats going on, but we did have the 10 to 5 racing time and about a half hour of break for lunch or whatever it was, with just a one feed. Just a car gets a wristband, and whoever idiot you want to put behind the wheel, that's up to you, friend. So we did get out there a little bit and found some of our horsepower leaking issues early.
Oh no.
And then continued to chase those horsepower leak issues sometimes throughout the weekend.
Well,
But practice went well.
obviously, with that finely prepared chariot that he was brought into, Larry, were you able to help with the any of the issues of the Mustang that were plenty and just getting started for the weekend?
I was out there ready to help Alan and team, but they had it so under control you couldn't even get near the car. They were just a well-oiled machine. And,
literally.
there's a minute there somewhere, but...
there was oil everywhere.
A little oil. Alan.
We'll get to that too. So Larry's going to lie through this podcast for those playing the home game. So okay, that's fine.
like a good crew member, you know.
All right. So do we start the race review with the the traditional good, bad, and the ugly is how we run the podcast. So we'll start with the good. So let's talk about the slippery slopers. How'd it go, guys?
What were some of the highlights of the weekend with your car and your team?
Well, Bill did great. This was only his second time on track, his second Lemons race. And I think there was some huge improvement there.
Awesome.
I didn't get hit this time.
That's an improvement.
So who went out first on Saturday?
Max, of course. You couldn't stop him.
You can't get him to come in for gas. Never mind get him out of the car.
He's so excitable. So the car ran great. Were any issues when you first went out negotiating traffic or trying to get in your position?
No, it was awesome. And just basically went out at the start at 9 and then used up pretty much an entire tank of gas. So that brought us in to the pits at like 11:15ish.
Oh, that's nice. It's good timing.
Yeah.
How did it go? Because I know, Bill, you were looking for shorter stints at New Jersey. Is it getting more comfortable going longer now, or still looking for?
I think an hour and 45.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Feeling better?
Did you start becoming an adrenaline junkie for the racing next?
No, I pretty much got passed all the time.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, you gotta
You'll
think
get there.
about it. An hour 45 is like the longest autocross ever, so that's good.
Yes. I think I got to get better at looking and seeing what's behind me, so I feel more comfortable going fast.
Yeah.
There's a lot goes on around you.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing is your car is so fast you don't have to look behind as much as certain cars on the track. So it gets like B is really hard because you got to look forward and backwards, and C is not so hard because you just keep looking behind you and don't worry about it. You got time before you get to anything. It's good.
It's
So who
actually kind
ended?
of weird. It seemed like there was nobody out there at times,
Relatively,
compared
yeah.
to the last time
Yeah.
that I was
there
there
was some
2 years
gap.
ago with you. I think there was a lot more cars then.
Yeah.
It didn't feel that crowded, I guess.
Yeah, usually there's like 120, maybe 130 at Thompson. That's about so a light showing this year. They're going to pay for it because they didn't get any good weather. So
Yeah, woe to them. They missed out on a nice one.
yes, we did. That's okay. It's fine. What
We
about you, Miss
missed you.
Audra?
It was really weird. It was my first Lemons race without you guys there.
Well,
And it was very strange.
well, just for you, we're going to come to New Hampshire, so you can't say it's number 2. So we'll be there.
Awesome.
That's right. You should be warmed up. So, Miss Audra, how was your racing?
Good. I did a lot better this time. My goal going in was to stay with the pack as much as I could and to not slow down and let the other drivers pass me, to keep my foot on the floor and actually try and stay in it. And I did that much more consistently than the last time. So I felt like my driving was better. I felt like I stayed with the pack a lot better. I actually passed somebody that I know to be a good driver, and that made me exceedingly happy, which of course he immediately screwed up and he passed me back. But I had a moment of happiness.
That's racing in a nutshell, just a moment of happiness, and then it keeps going. Okay. All right, so you guys will get to your results later. Any issues on track for the weekend? Anything mechanical, anything self-induced, anything black flag, anything?
I just smiled at black flag.
Oh no, I missed a yellow. I guess I passed on a yellow, which was within, I don't know, my first like 10 minutes. So I get to come in for that. So that was fun. And then I did something really stupid. I have like cushions behind me to push me up in the seat, and one of them came loose. So I thought, okay, well, I'll go in, I'll give them the cushion. So I went in and they took the cushion, and I went immediately back out without adjusting anything. And that was a really bad idea that I will not ever repeat. Well, I couldn't see anything. So because the cushion was gone, all the mirrors were in the wrong place. Or I was in the wrong place. The mirrors were still fine where they were, but I was in the wrong place. I couldn't see anything. So I was trying to readjust things as I was driving, and it was very, very uncomfortable. So I wound up coming in a little bit early because I had not done that. I should have like stopped, readjusted everything, and then gone. That was a bad idea. But other than that, everything went pretty smoothly.
Audra, you know better.
She was excited.
It was great. Things were
Just
going
caught
well.
in the moment.
Yeah, just 2 inches of cushion. It'll be fine.
No, that's never good.
No. So who finished the day on Saturday for you guys?
I did.
Took the checker. Yeah? And how was that feeling?
That was fun. Definitely
There's
fun.
a lot to be said for your car just finishing the checker on Saturday in one piece in general. Indeed. And running well. That's huge.
Did you get sprayed down with any liquids?
On Sunday.
Okay. Oh, you finished both days.
You finished both days.
Yeah, we had some getting in and out of the car issues on Saturday.
Yeah.
Well, we lost our radio, so we couldn't talk to each other. That didn't help.
Oh.
Right.
So the time of when we were going in and out of cars changed.
Well, you always have getting in and out of car issues because Max gets in but doesn't get out.
Well,
this time was actually my fault. I just kept going. I still had gas.
Yeah, and we thought you were out of gas. We put in 3 tanks and it still overflowed. So,
well, there were a lot of yellows and a lot of double yellows, so that sort of like pushed things out a lot farther than we had initially anticipated. Like the fuel to last, you know what I mean? It lasted longer time-wise.
And we spent a lot of time under double yellows on Sunday. A lot of time.
Yeah.
We heard there was a few
crunches
shows. So
yeah,
pick your adjective for show. All right, Alan, how was your race? That's the MooStang. It's a thoroughbred.
We had some worries about all the horsepower leaking out, and they were confirmed. I went out on Saturday to start. And it didn't take very long before they wanted to come see me about all the horsepower that was smoking out the back of the car. Something
Not
about
horsepower. Not
I don't know,
horsepower.
yeah, a lot of horsepower. So we had to come up with some ideas as to what we're gonna do, and we ended up with somewhat of a modified crankcase breather setup. So we put a 3/8 T in the breather line and connected it right to the dipstick tube, and then dipstick became a special tool we left on the shelf with a hose clamp. And so yeah, we just kind of contained it. And on Saturday, I was a little distraught myself. This was the ugly. I wasn't sure if 18 or 19 laps, I forget what it was going to be the end of the weekend. Somewhat abysmal as I had last year. But with my teammates, Aaron and Yuri, they managed to pull out 96 laps at the end of Saturday. So that was a win. And even better than that, Yuri managed to come in about 5 or 10 minutes before checkers on Saturday, as I'm chit-chatting, sitting in the shade, talking to my lovely bride about how it's so nice to watch I know. I was so nice to watch my car go around track. It's great. He's doing a great job. Didn't notice the 5 minutes he was off track while he's frantically waving for my kid to like put another quart of oil in, just to finish the race. But so no, we ended up with 96 laps, which to me was a huge victory for Saturday. I pretty much was sure that the car was done. So for me, I was just worried to get my drivers in some seat time. So we had gotten Aaron out, and then we got Yuri out to finish the day. So that worked out awesome. As far as awesome goes,
So how many quarts per mile, Alan?
Well, we don't really talk about miles. And we don't like to brag about all the horsepower that leaks out. So on Sunday, and I didn't really check the final count, but it was probably about 2.5 quarts of collected oil from horsepower leaking out. And then we just put fresh oil right back in. So we went to minor services and major services. If I jump into Sunday here on you. So the major services, when you take the hose clamp off the dipstick tube and then you put the dipstick in and you check the oil level there, and then you check the dipstick in the catch can, and then you decide, how much to put where. It's kind of like when you do AC service on a car, you see how much oil came out of the compressor and put about the same amount back in. So we ended up with about 2 quarts came out.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad. But the Rotella, it pours right back in, so it doesn't really matter.
You're recycling?
Absolutely. No, I don't use the old oil. I recycle that. I'm gonna send that to the lab. Have it analyzed to see what's wrong with the engine.
It'll be like, this oil was never used in an engine. Well, yeah.
Lightly used.
It has to go through the engine to be used in the engine,
So on the plus side, the car did keep running, although we had to maybe shift a little sooner, and some of those fun things. But the oil pressure gauge was working. We were able to, it was kind of like right before the teapot's ready to boil, you get that little bit of steam coming out. It was kind of the left front corner, because as you'd run, that's where the catch can is. It was just kind of a little bit coming out there. And if it stopped coming out there, then you should come in for oil. But it's fine. Okay.
All right. So Max, what was the goal going in for your car? I've heard rumors of goals for your car that we're going to have a chat about, but go ahead. Tell me.
You've heard rumors of goals for the car?
Yes, I've heard rumors.
For you and the cars.
I've heard rumors.
Really?
I have.
Yeah.
So goal for the car for Thompson was, to finish. That was a goal.
That's a great goal.
Everyone
always a good goal.
We wanted to. We had. I don't know what other goals we had for Thompson for our car.
Did you have aspirations?
Did you have delusional aspirations? This is the public needs to know.
Take an A.
No, we did not have any delusional aspirations.
Beyond the normal delusional aspirations. Right? Regular delusional aspirations. Nothing abnormal. It's fine.
Okay. All right. Well, Mr. Danvers, where were you on the delusional spectrum?
Well, let's see. My delusion included hoping to get my car to the track and home from the track, which we did.
Okay.
The car drove back onto the trailer, under its own
Shocking.
power. We got 2
Shocking.
million. I know. We got all my drivers in. And we actually didn't. The only black flag was me getting called in for leaking horsepower. But we didn't hit anything. We didn't go off track. And yeah, nothing. It was a clean race.
Clean race. Yeah, that's how everybody else described it.
Clean is not the word, Alan.
No,
Well, we used a couple cans. We had some purple power and brake clean. We cleaned the floor after. It wasn't
How
dirty.
much was on? I just need to know how much was on the track.
No, there wasn't really that much coming out on the track. There's a little bit of spraying down there. Nothing terrible because we collected it all. We're eco conscious like that.
All right, so we get into the data now. We had let's see, how many did we have? We had in class A, which Slippery Slope was in, you guys were 40 cars and you came in 19th. So
Heck yeah.
Top half. Well done. Well done, everybody.
That's awesome.
That's 28th overall. That's almost 70%. So getting there. And you know what the impressive thing is? You guys did that and you were the 55th slowest car out of 92. So you were on the bottom half of speed and you're on the way top. So nice job. Nice job.
Yeah.
And then there's the MooStang.
Yeah,
do you want to start with the good, the bad, or the ugly?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do the good. None. There's none. Alan, 71st.
Okay.
Out of 92.
Well, we're in fuel saving mode on Saturday.
Yeah, not in oil saving mode, but that's okay. You managed to make a turbo Mustang get into Class C and fit there.
Yeah, I know. I'm proud of that too, but it's fine.
11th out of 17. Not top half. Just
in Class C.
In Class C, yeah.
Did you end up taking any checker?
Oh yeah, we took checkers both days.
Yeah, that's why the checkered has oil on it.
There you go.
Took checker both days and they drove right in the trailer. No problem.
All right. So we're gonna play the
no problem. He says
the Price is Right game. Everybody gets a vote. Out of 92 cars, what number fastest was the MooStang? We'll start with Max. Max looks so enthralled to do this.
So that's like average speed.
Top fastest lap.
Fastest lap.
Yeah.
That's Yuri's fastest lap. If it was the 16th lap, by the way. Just throwing out there.
I don't know.
Out of 92.
46.
46. Okay.
Miss Audrey? Your car? Faster? What the?
Yeah, not faster than your car. Just hints to the rest. Miss Audrey, what do you think? Out of 92, where's the Mustang? A turbo GT Mustang.
Well, it's really the driver. Yuri's pretty quick. So I would put him more around 20.
Okay, 20. All right.
Top 20?
Mr. Bill?
Yeah, why not?
What do you think?
Oh, 38.
38. Okay, very good. Larry, the mechanic, the wrencher.
Far from it, but I know Alan told me he told his team, his drivers, to take it easy. And I know for a fact that at least one, maybe two, did not listen to him at all. So there's probably a pretty fast lap in there somewhere.
Okay.
I don't know. I'll say, 39.
39. Okay. All right. I can't decide if Miss Vicky goes before Alan. I'll go with Miss Vicky. Miss Vicky, what do you think? Miss Vicky,
I'm passing.
She's passing. All right, Alan.
I'm passing.
So out of 92, I'm going to say, well, if Max was 55th fastest, I'm going to have to be 54th fastest, just one fastest.
54th? Okay. All right. So all of you, if this was the Price is Right, do quite poorly because out of 92 cars, Alan was 82nd.
Oh.
Well, my car. I'm not that fast.
Well, actually, you might have been faster than your car the way this weekend shook out. So
82, that's not bad out of 92. So there was, and there were 4 that didn't even run.
Yes.
Oh, they still count.
That's counting the 4 that went through tech and did not run.
That's more than a handful that were slower than me. Is it right?
Yeah,
a full handful.
I think it might have been. Might be a somewhat mutated hand, but yes, it's not much more than a hand. So okay.
All right. So the body really does show the lap times. It really looks crappy, and it goes that way too. So that's fair.
I would,
Mhm.
if you want to look at this as glass half full, let's say you
Yeah.
earned your Class C.
I did. I seem to, unfortunately, do that way too well.
Yes.
And
Okay.
I did miss out on the fact that when we got there, Yuri did a quick once over because he's used to driving great thoroughbreds like mine.
And he still drove the car?
He did, yeah. He's like,
Oh.
we have a little fuel leaking here at the pressure regulator. I was like, oh, okay. So I just called the local auto parts store, and they told me that they had no listing at all. It was a dealer only item. But again, my teammates coming through with intel said just go drive there. It's on the shelf, and sure enough, it was right there on the shelf. You just had to know what you're looking for, but it's fine. So we fixed that fuel leak, and then we started with the gas leak. I mean, it fixed the fuel leak, and then we went with the oil leaks, and then we stayed with the oil leaks for last weekend. We were consistent. We didn't really budge from that. So,
okay. All right.
But no fuel leaks.
All right, so let's get to the training part of this episode. What can we improve for next time? What do we need to work on, everybody? Let's go with the slippery slopers. Larry, from an external perspective, not getting in the car, what did you see? What can we do?
What
is their path to domination?
That's right.
Well, I'll tell you, they on the positive side, the team did a phenomenal job, and it hasn't come up yet, so I'll just get it out on the table. We actually hot pitted for the first time, right? The three.
Oh, we were going to get to pit stops, yeah.
Before.
That's
and
true.
We worked together as a team, and it was phenomenal. I think we were running 7-8 minute pits for the most part, maybe a 9 every once in a while, a 5 if we didn't fuel. But I thought it went really, really well, and whatnot. And off that, I think one of the drivers had mentioned, now that we got the hang of hot pit, and maybe we could clean the windshield once during the day or something as part of the hot pit. Someone had mentioned that. I'm like, yeah, it's probably a pretty good idea now that we know how to get people in and out of the car, fuel it, change the chiller and stuff like that.
I don't think you're allowed to in the hot pit in Lemons.
I thought they said that was the one thing. The ice for the thing, the clean the window, and then fuel. No working on the car, nothing under the hood, no checking tire pressures.
Maybe. I don't know. We've never gotten to that point of advancedness, so And if one car needed to be improved with a cleaner windshield, it would probably be the MooStang.
Yeah, surprisingly, it wasn't that bad. We were able to keep most of the excess horsepower down low. Okay. For rust protection, of course.
All right. Mr. Bill, what do you think? What can we do better?
I could drive better.
Well, I mean, so can everybody.
But I have lots to improve. It's easier for me to do.
You've left room. It's kind of you.
Yeah. But we actually got complimented by the guys watching the pits on our pit that we did everything right. Apparently, there was a lot of people hanging out on the wrong side of the wall and things like that.
Oh no, that's not good.
So that was pretty good.
What about you, Miss Audra? What do you think? What do you think you can do better?
I think we could be a little bit more organized, and we were still kind of feeling our way around. We didn't know, we didn't know how long Bill was going to stay in the car, so we didn't know what our driver order would be. And one time Bill went out, and I hadn't actually plugged in the cool suit, so he was a little bit warm. Things of that nature. Just like a little bit more organization, maybe some more reminders on the side of the car, and we definitely need to do some practice events. So we need to get out there and actually do some driving that's not Lemons.
Well, luckily we have something coming up that you guys could participate in. That would be great.
Cool.
Indeed. And Max, what do you think? What's the path to domination paved with?
So yeah, all those things, and I would just add, just specifically to like the driving order or like driver times. Like if we have radios, that's cool, but when we don't have them, I feel like we should maybe have like a plan for when the radios don't work. Like just like say like I'll go out till 3 o'clock. If there's no radios, then you guys will be there at 3. And hand signals are cool, but what if the radio doesn't work in either direction? You know what I mean? So because you don't want to come in and no one be ready, then they see you and then you're like, okay, get ready, and then you go back out and you come back in. Just sort of like plans for when things go wrong or missing, you know what I mean, would be good. And that's just just part of it. But having plans sort of like ahead of time for that sort of thing, I think. I mean, we did fine, but I think we could do better at that.
Right. Does your CD player have a clock on it?
Yes, it's digital. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it changes colors. It has like a demo mode, and yeah, it's pretty slick.
Oh, cool. Like, so what we usually do is the last person to close the door on the driver, we'll tell them, start looking at, a time, just 2 hours from there.
Yeah.
Just in case something falls apart, because, it is us. So,
right.
And Alan, what's your path to denomination?
Yeah, I think we need to keep a little more of the horsepower into the car. I think that I was, comms were a bit of an issue. I'm not sure if my team was helping me or not, but I'm pretty sure my microphone didn't work at all on my helmet, but I could hear everything. So we're not sure if
they did that on purpose.
Yeah, I don't know if they're smart enough or not. It could be, maybe. But no, I think we need to get a little more camber on the one side. Our cross camber is off a bit, so we were doing really good in the left-handers, but the right-handers not so much. Or right, I forget which way.
And that's a right hand. That's a right hand track, by the way.
Yeah. So we got to do a little work with that. I got that lined up. That's not a problem. I'm gonna make some adjustments to the camber plates and go back to the lineman shop and see what they say the toe looks like. And then I think we might be looking for another power plant.
I think we might be looking for another car.
This brings us to the intervention section of the podcast.
Yes.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Captain's log supplemental.
Miss Vicky, we've been racing for a while.
Yep.
One of the things you've wanted forever and ever was something simple and easy to get the video, because you've not been happy with everything we've tried.
Nope.
And we've tried a lot.
Well, the issue that we've always had was that we always never got around to video. We kept trying, but things kept happening.
Even when we did, I can't count the number of times I have GoPro video from Jennifer turning the GoPro on to get out of the car and then turning it off to get into the car and start racing. I mean, we've all done it.
That was a problem with the GoPro is because of the positioning, is that we could never really see the on and off button, and the battery was really short.
But I think we found a solution.
I think we did. I did. So we now have the Sentinel system.
Yes.
And oh my gosh,
rumored, finally here.
I know. And honestly, it was incredible. Just, like, my mind was blown sitting there watching, my sister drive or watch our friends drive in the car. It was really cool.
Mm-hmm. We got to have it displayed at the track in the paddock. We were watching it pretty much. Mm-hmm. I will say that the only downside to the Sentinel system is it cuts down on my steps, because I end up staring at the camera.
This is true.
Instead of walking around the paddock, but I guess I'll get my exercise in another way. So just wait until we get it integrated with the AIM system, and then we have all the telemetry. That'll be fantastic.
Right. So right now it shows you can put your logos on it. It determines who's in the car. It has speed and it has video. And yep, obviously you could put more cameras to it. But what I liked about it the most was that all you have to do is put the box in. And I mean, you can leave it in your car, obviously, but it's ready to go.
You know what we had to do at the second race?
What?
Put in a memory stick.
Yeah. The memory stick, yes. And the memory stick.
Start the car.
That's right. And the video was clear, it was crisp, and it was just amazing that we had that length of time on video. Because normally before we would only have these little pin shots of
15-20 minutes,
right, before the battery would die, or
it would turn itself off,
or we would forget to turn it off and we would have just nothing happening,
or get off on our on and off and have it turn off when we need it on and
yeah. But this was a steady video for hours, and it was really cool. I loved it. I really did.
Well, I'm glad you're happy, because as with every married couple, when you're happy, I'm happy. And I don't sleep in the tub for, another reason that I didn't even do it, but that's fine. So, all right. So now we're going to use it over and over and over. We got another upcoming race. It'll be fantastic. And they're posting it on our YouTube channel if people want to get bored. It's a great way to fall asleep.
You are so self-deprecating.
I'm even better when I'm self-deprecating.
Deprecating.
That too. Everyone.
Yeah. I think it's time, like I told Alan, I might need a Viking funeral.
Bad choices.
Yeeted off a cliff, Viking funeral, whatever.
Alan, let's talk.
Yeah.
You have spent many a weekend and many a dollar going to the racetrack with the MooStang. And most of the time I see you going around the paddock at 3 miles an hour because you're a good paddock speed person. But I don't see you going around the track at 5 miles an hour or more. Perhaps, just perhaps, it's time.
You think?
It is time.
But see, this time I didn't get towed in at all. I only got towed in last year at Thompson. This year, no tow-ins.
Alan.
Who knew?
You were 5 cars away from the slowest thing out on track.
It was in fuel saving mode. Let me just tell you, when you adjust the wastegate all the way so it's just open, so you maybe see 2 pounds of boost, and then you start short shifting at like 4,000 RPM, because 2.3 liter 4-cylinders are known for their low end torque. When you take out all the turbo boost, you save a lot of gas. You barely burn through anything.
Yeah,
it's nuts though. I didn't even I'm just saying, it was ridiculous.
Alan, it needs to go away.
Think so? I think it's time for another.
I think it needs to. You ideally take the whole thing and whoosh, but if not, at least get another engine.
Yes. Yeah, we have a line on one. We have a guy that scouted out at a pick and pull over there in PA. And he actually scouted out on Monday after the race and said it is a turbo coupe and it is there. So
really,
I just have to go there and get it. Yeah.
Where in PA?
I don't. I'm not that smart.
East side, west side.
It's south to you, and then south of it.
Okay.
It's a pick and pull thing, and it's in my. We saved it, but he actually checked for me on Monday and said, "Yep." He said that it's got a turbo coupe motor in it. So
1 year only. Unicorn.
Well, yeah, maybe the chassis was, but it'll still be a classic. The doors will just smooth right out. It'll look just like Slippery Slope in a minute, real quick.
Just like it.
It takes a lot of paint,
Yeah. I'll need a little. I think I need some of that build up primer. You put it on real thick. Just builds it up. I think a bunch of maybe.
That was hand painted with Rust-Oleum.
That's how you do it, man. That's how the pros do it.
So next race, you're not going to be using one of the Hunsackers for oil.
No. I go with the standard Rotella T6. It's they've got it everywhere. I don't know if Home Depot has it, but Walmart definitely does it by the gallon even. So you can just buy it and pour it right in anything. Really, it's what I do.
Pour it in over and over and over. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Miss Vicky, we've come to the time where we talk about the other cars.
Yes. So, what are the most memorable cars and teams you guys have seen out there this particular weekend?
What was the taxi car that was really slow?
Was it the Volvo?
I don't know what it was. It was.
Was it the same one from New Jersey?
I felt like I kept seeing it constantly.
Was it a Mustang?
Was it the rabbit?
What?
Wasn't there a little rabbit that was the taxi cab? There were two.
Yeah.
There was one that was like Miata-ish, and the other one was like.
Yeah, not the Miata.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty slow.
Was it over at New Jersey? Like it's
I don't remember
striped?
seeing it at New Jersey.
Okay, because there was a Volvo taxi police car.
Oh, the Policia one. Yeah, that one wasn't there.
Oh.
Okay.
As far as teaming, the Miata team, the Knights team did a fabulous job of with coconuts and all that good stuff, music, all the rest, the whole nine. And then what else was there? There's always the wine of that little turbo. What is that Italian thing? That Alpha, whatever that thing is. Always love hearing that turbo whine go around.
Wouldn't you love
and
to
then
hear a
there's-
MooStang whine going around the track, Alan?
I know it would be nice
Just
It would-
just a thought.
someday when I get older.
Hey, you did better than the other Mustang.
I did a couple of them. Yeah, there was one. There was the Mach E, which is a newer Mustang. I'm not really sure the vintage. I should know more since I'm a Mustang guy, but I'm not. And this is just hearsay and innuendo, but word on the street was that they were more time trial drivers than wheel-to-wheel drivers. So that once they got another car near them, they freaked out. And that one I think might have gone inverted. I did look for a few parts on it for my car, but nothing.
Yes, we saw you shopping.
Nothing quite ready yet. But what else was there? And there was always the fabulous Lementarians. The Cadillac, they had some new aero on it this year, which was pretty nice. Always sounding fabulous and wonderful, like usual. And I think they got at least one of their famous burnouts in.
Awesome.
What else was there?
I don't know. Let's let somebody else answer. Larry, what did you see
No.
out there that was drew your eye?
The Audi GT, the gin and tonic car, always draws my eye when it goes by for whatever reason. A great group of guys driving that, and that car always kind of stands out a little bit for me for whatever reason. And then I found out this time, and you all probably can even educate me more, is one of the Cadillacs, I guess, is from the Escape from New York movie with Kurt Russell and whatever. And that car made a really good sound when it went by. That was a really, really nice car. It was really well done, especially knowing that it was like in the movie too. So Alan, you're shaking your head. Do you have any more history on that one? Or?
Yeah, that's the Lementarians. The Duke is the car you're talking about. That's one of their, I don't want to say pit vehicles, but their daily drivers. That's not actually the race car, but they did have the chandeliers from that on the race car.
Got it. Okay.
But that's that one with the glorious Cadillac 500.
Yeah, our first ever race, that car had a full scale dragster on its roof. And we were going like a rail dragster. So it was pretty fantastic. Mr. Bill, what cars were on your hit list, or what themes even?
I have one car that annoyed me a lot. That was a silver BMW that kept zipping by me really loud and then cut right in front of me.
Those BMW drivers. What are you going to do with those guys? Exactly. All right. Well, what about you, Miss Audra? What are you thinking?
Let's see. There was what the Sesame Street car was out there.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like they were doing pretty good.
Did they steal
Team
our
Aggressive
cookie, even though we
was
weren't
something
there?
that was notable to me because it's the first time that I've driven with Team Aggressives, and I actually passed one of the drivers. That made me very happy. But I always noted when they came around, they would wave. That was nice.
Did you wave to the Mustang when you went by?
46s. Of course, the Cadillac that you already talked about, that is the one car that truly petrifies me when I see it coming up in the rear view.
What is it?
I really do just the Cadillac. I do just
yeah.
move out of the way. They scare the crap out of me, honestly.
Have you been out there late on Sunday with the Cadillac?
Yeah, I was. And
Yeah.
that's what I did. I saw them coming and I would move out of the way because they scare me.
They like to drift it on late Sunday when they know it's in the bag, so it gets quite exciting. That's a lot of car to drift.
Yeah, it is. And that's not the widest track ever.
Nope. And that car is the widest car ever.
Who is it that has the yellow pickup truck?
Glenn.
Yeah, I stayed with Glenn for a long time. We did laps and laps together.
Awesome.
And at one point I finally managed to pass him briefly, and he got back around me, but I was pretty proud of myself. I stayed with him for a while. They were doing well.
Glenn, future podcast guest. He just doesn't know it and won't admit to saying yes ever. But we'll weaken him down. If you ask him a couple thousand times, one time he's going to slip up and say yes. It'll be fine.
What's the car that has the middle finger on the back, the pink?
Oh, the Integra. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they really are annoying.
Okay. Not the praise that we hope for all our fellow Lemons drivers, but we'll see. Max, anything from you? Anything you saw?
There were a couple cars. Some of them I don't even know what they were, but like that ended up being, we were similar pace for a long time, which was really cool. So we ended up passing a lot of people together and that sort of thing, and then sort of like one of us would get in front of the other for a little while, the other one would get in front of the other for a while. and we would just kind of go back and forth. And it was just, we waved at each other a few times. Like, it was fun,
Yeah.
But I mean, individual cars, I don't know. It's hard to keep track sometimes,
Oh, Laura, there's so many good drivers.
Yeah.
Like there's all these good drivers that have been doing this for a long time. You just watch them go by, and it kind of all blends because it's, you just watch them go by as you're in your spot.
Yeah. It's like, goodbye, Towley. See
Yeah.
you later. Miss Vic?
Yeah. So, what did we learn from the race?
What do you think?
What did we learn from this race?
Larry, you're an unbiased person. What did we learn?
I'm an unbiased person.
That's right.
Well, actually, no, I'm very committed to these three amazing drivers I've been watching. But what we learned from this race, I think the others had said, I mean, we need to think ahead and have a plan B, for more things as they come up. And, the radios is kind of a small item, but there could be other things. I think, like Audra said, we need to, do even more planning now. I mean, I think this weekend went phenomenal, every perspective, but there's always a higher gear you can find, and there's always you can do better. So I think having a plan B for more items would be good for any team. And I think that these three are doing so awesome, and they drove so well, and they were so well organized that we really need to find the next higher gear and make sure we got a backup for the backup.
I think we've just been very lucky. We still have a lot to learn, but we've been very lucky so far that things have gone so well,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when the car decides to hit you in the face, sometimes it's a big guy. Cool.
So, Alan, what did you learn this particular time around?
I think I've learned just, we didn't actually do any hot pit stops. I may or may not have forced Audra and Max to take your cart, to do a hot pit so they could actually experience it once, because I felt bad for that green cart. It can hold 3 cans of gas, and I didn't have to use any of them. Anyway,
you could use it for the oil.
The oil, yes, that's true. That's true. When I recycle it, that's so true. I think, I was thinking about the pit stops as far as the round and like whose job is it to do what. And I know a lot of times when you're running the show there, Bill, you have it very well laid out on the board as to this is fuel, this person's fire extinguisher, this person getting the person out, this person, that sort of thing. A little more of that probably would have helped. And I think, the radios and the backup, like they said, that having a backup, I think, is really important. And along that lines with the radios is like the fallback, like, all right, if this happens, what do we do? If this happens, what do we do? And again, one thing I'd like to do, which I didn't do at this track, was to have a spot on track where I have a spotter off track, so we can do some hand signals back and forth. 1 more lap, 2 more laps, some of that kind of stuff, just because that sometimes can help. It's nice to have radios that work, but it's
sometimes
not mission critical.
Sometimes. Okay. Miss Audra, Miss Max, Mr. Bill. I have forgotten to give you at the last race, and I didn't come to this race, but we have a board for you guys, so that may help you at the next race for scheduling and keeping the team organized. So hopefully that'll help. Okay.
Thank you.
The plan.
I almost bought something like that. I'm like, we don't need that. Lesson learned.
Yeah, there's only
the
3
big
of
whiteboard
you.
is awesome because then people can just see it and look, and they don't really have to be smart or remember things. But
that's what I thought. There's only 3 of us, and we have Larry, so it'll be fine.
Sometimes you get to Sunday and you're like sitting there going, did I just get out of the car? Or did I just go out of the car? Do I go next? Or where's Alan? And
real,
because it happens. Okay. All right. So plans. What do we got coming? Who's going? Where are we going racing? Are we doing a practice before the next race? Or are we just going next race? Or what are you guys thinking?
We still have to talk about that a little bit. Max and I are going to do. Well, I'm going to do a CRE. Hopefully with my other car before. What is that? Mid-September. Try and sneak in a couple of other practices.
Okay. New Hampshire, I think, is towards the end of September. So I think that's kind of the next one on the agenda for Lemons, at least.
End of October.
October.
Sorry. Did I say September? Yeah. It's Halloween-ish.
Yes.
Ish.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So you're thinking maybe New Hampshire or TBD?
Oh, we're definitely in for New Hampshire.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Car's still running. We're gonna go.
Well, I mean, Alan says his car's running, but that doesn't mean you can go.
Listen, you know what they say? You can daily drive anything if you're brave enough.
True. This is true. All right, let's hear it. What's the Mustang's next plan? What's the plan?
We're looking for a little heart transplant here. And then we want to get her back up to New Hampshire. See if maybe there's a chance that it can go there without any more damage occurring. I know they say, what is it? Sometimes you do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. I forget what that is, but that's what we're doing. So we're gonna try to bring it there one more time and see if maybe it could not. Yeah, you're laughing over there, pal. But when your wheel falls off, when you get hit one time, you get hit another time. When you get hit twice in the same turn, this is all what's going on here. So it's a very terrible past.
Well, I'm telling you, it's always New Hampshire. Get that good send off.
Oh my God.
New Hampshire's brutal. Guys. I'm going to tell you, it's rough on cars.
I
know it's really rough on my car. I don't know everybody else, but
the history of the MooStang, formerly the Spider-Stang.
No bueno.
At New Hampshire, we may not have to worry about it next year. It may be taken care of. So, all right.
Don't tease us. Why is
it
why
may
is New
yeet
Hampshire
itself?
Yeah, I don't know why it's been so tough on it. I just know that there's the one YouTube video from the Ultimate Warriors, the guys that won Class B this race, and Thompson, when the Mustang got hit by the Audi and then hit into Ultima. So it was the double shot that got it.
That was the second double shot on that car.
Yeah,
at that track.
And last year my son was out in it, and he gave a Honda a point by, and they immediately spun right in front of him, and he hit him.
Those Honda people.
Yeah, I was like, oh man. So it's had a rough go over to New Hampshire. So we'll see.
So New Hampshire's got some. It's got some really wide parts of the track, and then it's got some really narrow parts of the track, and then it's got some really curvy parts of the track. Yeah, and those three combine into it can get a little roller derby.
It can get dicey. But the track and the event itself is awesome. It's definitely one of my favorites as far as time of the year, the track, elevation change, that kind of stuff. It's very much more enjoyable. Lots more electricity and showers than our past event. And cooler, yeah, because it's October, right? It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes cooler too much, but that's a different problem than we have at Thompson. So
yeah.
All right, sounds like you guys had a great time. Did we miss anything?
It was a really great time. It was so much fun with these guys were awesome, and we were hanging with Alan for part of the time, and it was a really, really good weekend.
Okay. You guys lucked out, like right next to each other.
Oh my gosh. There was a little bit of carnage. There was a couple wheels came off here and there, a couple people backed in at the wall right before they came on the straight. I did see it was my disappointment of the weekend when I finally got off double yellow. Gonna try to do like one hot lap, and I was like kind of doing it, and then right as you're coming around that back area there, I watched the Subaru just lose their front wheel, and I could see the sparks under the car, and everything was great. I was like, you know what, that's the sign to just come in right now. We don't need another lap. That's okay. Let's just call it a day. But heck yeah, another fun Thompson race.
Excellent. Yep. Well, sounds like you guys had a great time. We are sorry we missed it, but these things happen. Hopefully we'll be there next year.
Heck yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you at the track and maybe at some practices. That'll be awesome.
Awesome.
Hope so.
Awesome. Great racing.
And thank you for having us.